Hey, I'm Dave Nelson. I go here to Full Sail for Recording Arts, and this is my CSI Podcast. So we're supposed to talk about how technology's changed our field over the course of, since this technology's been around. And, over all these years recording arts, obviously it's dramatically changed based on this technology. We started off with the phonograph. From there, we were just recording with using horns. And from there, we moved on to microphones. And that brought along analog recording, and now we're moving on to digital, which is becoming, probably more predominant within our field. All these things are really obvious within the field. If you listen to anything from, like the 70s, and then compare it to a track of today, it's really obvious that the quality and the ability to record these things is vastly improved. So generally, majority of this change has come from the switch between analog and digital. There's always going to be people who are going to stick by the analog ideals, and that's probably not going to ever change. But even now, we're using hybrid consoles, using both, so people can kind of get the best of both worlds with those. But the conversion to digital is making quality and accessibility so much greater in the field of recording arts. A lot of this has to do with the simple ease of use, which makes digital, just the king in this idea, because everybody can use it. It's literally pointing and clicking, and back when we were using analog, we had to physically cut actual tape. A lot of the other part of it is simply size. When you're using analog, you're using massive quantities of tape, and with digital, you can literally save everything to a hard drive that's that big. So all these advances in digital media have made it really easy to manipulate everything you're working on. I can record a 15-track set on drums, and I can mess with every little piece of it. I can tune the snare up. I can do anything I want to the kick. Before, a lot of times we ended up using maybe one or two mics simply because that's all you had the room for with the analog. And now it's become so much easier to just literally mess with every piece of anything you want in recording. Another thing with digital is that these are now open to the public. Like some of these programs like Audacity or Reaper, they're totally free. Anybody can use them, and all you need to do is have some kind of direct in to record, which comes standard on a lot of computers now, and anybody can record anything they want. From there, we've also moved on to bigger, better programs like Logic and Pro Tools and Cubase, and this takes the control and all the expertise that you can bring to these kind of programs and projects and stuff just to the next level. Even more, within the advancement in the software, there's now plugins that can mimic analog, type sounds. There's plugins that can pretty much do anything you want them to now. So even within these new softwares that they're coming up with, there's software within that software. So to wrap up this podcast, clearly within the field of recording arts, there's been tons of technological advances, and not only is it the technological advances, but it's the people who are using these technologies over and over and over and learning from them and having new ways to use them, and then creating technologies upon that has made this field just, so broad, and the ability to do whatever you really want, using so many different ways to do it. So I would definitely say that my field has been helped a lot by the technology that surrounds us.